Hi everyone, I am Tim Riley with Angel Tarot Readings by Tim, and this is our weekly energy forecast for the week of July 9th through the 15th. And this week I'm going to I've had this tarot deck for quite a while, but I'm debuting it on my channel here. It is the wonderful Gaian Tarot, and it is by Joanna Powell Colbert. But the deck is just as you can see, the cards are quite big, a little bit more oversized than what you might be used to. So I was having a little bit of difficult time trying to fit this in on my table here. But the cards themselves have very much a water feel to it. Love the energy. And it comes in this beautiful sturdy box here. But I thought I would use the deck here for this week and a little bit of a different spread, because I feel as we get into not only this week, but even throughout the entire month of July and even August, we're going to run into some stumbling blocks here. And I just feel that that's going to be through a lot of the lunar eclipse that's going to be occurring on July 27th. So that's going to be something that you will want to read up on and to get prepared for that. We are going to have 6 planets that are going to be in retrograde, and it's a time to really do a lot of self-reflection. And that is one of the themes for this week I really am seeing here with the card layout. So I want to go through this with you just so that you can kind of get a feel for what's going on. The main element here is the Six of Earth. And as you can see, I'm going to try and do this if I can't do a glare here. But you can see there's an exchange of information here, an exchange of energy. Looks like we've got the farmer's market. And the earth energy here, that of course is the Pentacles. And also, before we actually get into the rest of this, I do want to talk a little bit about the element of the court cards. You see here we have the Guardian of Air. Now the Guardian is actually the Queen energy, and we have the Elder of Fire, which is King energy. What I really like about this deck, which is quite different from some of the others that I have, is that when we have the queens, there's 4 females. When we have the kings, there's 4 males. She's actually split them up with a nice balance of having 2 men and 2 women for the elder, and 2 men and 2 women for the guardian, which is really nice. Now, I don't know if she's done that with the explorer, and then also there's the children, but I'm sure she has. But I was looking at this here and noticed that, and I just really like that balance here of the masculine and the feminine energy. But this week, the Six of Earth is really about taking part of a cycle of giving and receiving. And I feel that this is going to be along with the lines of communication. They're telling me communication with this week. So really watch how you are exchanging your thoughts and ideas. Watch your tone. I know I had to revisit an email that I sent earlier this week because I think it may have offended the individual, but in reality it never was meant to. So watch how you're communicating these next 2 months throughout July and even August, because especially if it's through email, if it's through handwritten messages, there could be a sense of what you meant to say is not how it comes across, is what we need to be conscious of. So watch the exchange of your energy this week. And this is saying also that one of the things that we can expect as far as help with and strength is we have the Two of Earth. So there could be, again, there's going to be, when we've got the Two of Earth in here, this is balancing. This is talking about balancing more than one thing at a time. as you can see here with this individual. We got, looks like we're still at that farmer's market here. Yep, absolutely. And we've got the two children. So this is, this could be the owner. This could like be the owner, and then we've got kids. So it's balancing work and balancing home life, family life. But there's definitely going to be the need where we may have to balance more than one thing, or there could be responsibilities that might be weighing heavily on you. And I think we'll do well with that this week. So I'm not too concerned with this, but there is going to be other energies that are going to be competing for our time. Now, what I have here as far as like what we need to be cautious of is here we have the Explorer of Earth. And this is a knight, and yeah, we've got a female here. So yeah, she's done that really well. She's split them up, which is really I think great. I like to see that. The earth energy here, this is talking about what we need to be conscious of, and especially with the earth, is getting grounded this week, okay? So this is talking about being very realistic and practical, because that's the energy of the earth, of the explorer, the knight of earth, the knight of pentacles. So it's very realistic, very grounded, practical. So as we are communicating this week, making sure that we are focused and that we are in a good mental headspace before we have any lines of communication with other individuals. Now, what I've done here, and this is a spread I've been using for years now, and I love how this works. This is really good for a general spread, but you've got the present situation. This is our past. This is our future, what's coming up for us, and these are the different elements. So we've got we have the air, we have the fire, we have the earth, and we have the water. And I always take a look to see if I have, for example, an air card on the air location spot here. If I have a fire card in the fire spot here. And that really makes a lot of sense for me when I'm looking at this. So before we look at the actual signs here, let's take a look at the past, the present, and the future a little bit here. Especially the past. We'll get into the signs and then we'll take a look at the future. So the past here, we have actually the death card. And just so you can kind of see some of these photos here, they do look a little photoshopped, and I'm okay with that. I still get drawn into the energy, and I think that some decks that are photoshopped just really, it's a hit or miss for me, but I'm really drawn to these. I think they've done such a wonderful job with this deck. But as you can see, there's this, almost looks like this, like worms in here. Not sure what that is, but you got the butterfly here, and totally about transformation, letting things die away. So we're going to have to leave some things behind. We're going to have to let some things go in regards to our energy here of giving and receiving. And of course, you've got the signs in here. So I want to take a look at the air, which is all about communication, mental, thoughts. And you've got the wheel card. So this is the only area where we actually have a major arcana. So to me, I feel that this is really, when we're being asked which direction should we really be focusing our attention, it's going to be on the air for this week. And that's why I feel it's going to be about communication. It's going to be about your thoughts and your ideas. And the wheel card, which is the Wheel of Fortune, it's a great card, especially if you followed the suggestion in the past card, which is about letting things go. If we're still holding on, if we have not learned to let go, if we're still carrying excess baggage, those things that no longer serve us, the wheel card is not going to move in our favor. If we've learned to let go, if we have learned to release, if we have learned to not be controlling in communications, in relationships, as I feel that's going to be, we will be fine. It's all about cycles and seasons. So there's going to be some changes that are going to be occurring. And I'm noticing this, especially, with Mercury retrograde and Mars retrograde and Neptune retrograde. As we get closer to this lunar eclipse, I have already started to notice people becoming more and more agitated, more and more angry. So you've got to really watch how you are coming across to other people. My advice, if I could, I would hole myself up in my own home for the next 2 months and just not go out, just to play it safe. But you can't really do that. But the best thing that we can do is to be very mindful about how we are coming across to other people. So there's going to be some changes that are going to be occurring and regarding communication and regarding people's mental thoughts and ideas. And you know what a full moon is like. This one's going to be crazy. It's going to be really crazy. Now, it may sound like I'm painting a very negative picture. Well, here's the thing. I'm not trying to be negative, but you got to understand, you guys who are watching this, you come to this channel here because you are of high vibration. So when I tell you all of the negative stuff, it's not for you. It's for the people that don't watch this channel. Those are the ones that you need to be careful and mindful of. All of you who are watching this channel know how to work from your higher self. You know how to adapt. You know how to shift lanes when you need to, when you've got a crazy person that's in your face. So when I talk about all of the craziness, it's not really for you guys. It's for the other people. And yes, there is some of that for us. It's just a mindful little nudge and knock on our conscience saying, hey, watch how you are really coming across to other people. So yes, there's going to be some changes and some movements. There's going to be another cycle that's going to be occurring. All right. Now, we get into over here the Four of Water. And this is the fire sign. This is about passions and creativity. But, with the Four of Water, you'll notice, let me move this here. It's almost like a little drain there that she's looking down into. Fours represent reflection. It represents contemplation, rest, and with the water sign, that can be emotions quite a bit. And, here she's kind of looking down into this well and she's feeling, she could be maybe scrying if she's the high priestess, but I feel like she's really taking a look at, what the next step is for her. Emotionally, she's kind of dealing with her emotions. And she might be grieving, she might be sad, but I feel like there's, a time to really take a look at your emotions and to reserve those. It's if you've got the opportunity, especially with this being rest and water, if you've got the opportunity to take a vacation and spend some time by water, that would be a wonderful thing to do this week. Water helps to purify and cleanse us, whether it be the ocean, and the ocean's best because you've got the salt, which salt is a purifier as it is, but even if it's just a river or a lake or just, dipping your feet in the pond or a sea salt bath, this is asking us to just spend some time and rest and nurture yourself, okay? Now we get into here, and why I say that, because we have the Three of Air, and here, which is about the earth energy, we have the Three of Air and the earth, which is, remember, earth is all about practicality. It's about, your physical aspect, being very realistic. We have the Three of Air. And this is what I'm a little concerned about, because you notice that the individual here is writing. Now, the Three of Air is sadness, separation, There's tears that are involved with this. Now, what's he doing? Is he writing a goodbye note, or or is he journaling his emotions? Is he being journaling or writing down all of the things that would help him as far as being realistic and practical? So that's what that three of air is representing. Is yeah, there could be some loss, there could be some sorrow, and you may be caught up in thoughts and feelings, whether they're positive or negative. And whatever's kind of going through your mind, whatever ideas or images that are kind of swirling around in your head, I almost feel like this is a great time to journal. So I'm going to choose journaling here, especially if we are having some, emotional discomfort here where we feel like it's time to take a break. You may want to do some journaling this week here too. Um, especially, and so again, and writing down is communicating. Communicating can be verbally speaking it, but we can also communicate our thoughts and ideas and place them on paper. So when I say that this is going to be a week about communication, there's a lot of ways that we can communicate. So one way, definitely for those of you, and I'm hearing this too, maybe writing down what you want to say before you actually say it. Because if we are in a sensitive situation this week where we may have to present information to an individual that is uncomfortable, um, I know sometimes I can get flustered. I'm not quite sure how I want to say it. And if I have to say it like right then and there, I may not have the right words for it. So this is saying you may want to put your thoughts on paper and revise those and kind of get that script in your head and in your mind, your body, so that you are much more comfortable in being able to express. There's very much an expressive card there. And then, of course, what we have here is the water area. And here we have the Explorer of Air. So again, you've got the Knight of Air here. And you see all the birds that are swarming around him. Um, I almost feel like he's caught up in a lot of quarreling, a lot of people bickering and arguing, because there's a lot of that energy over here. And that's where the emotions and our sensitivity and our relationships may be. So, I'm a little cautious about who we might be around. This could be office gossip. It could be the bickering. It could just be, did you hear what was going on with her and the rumors? So just be very mindful about what you get caught up in this week. And, if you are an individual like you just don't really want to be around all of that, when the moment you notice it, remove yourself from it. Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, that Explorer of Air is definitely going to be something that I feel like, with that Explorer, it's a Knight energy, the Knight card, and Explorers are very fast moving. And because we have this in an air, the Explorer of Air, sometimes the information can be quite blunt because the Explorer has not mastered the art of communication like the Elder has. So there could be some blunt truth coming out this week. Okay? You just want to make sure that you get a little bit better perspective this week. Now, we get to the future card here, which is the Guardian of Air. And if what I see here and what I like, especially the Guardian, this is the Queen. So we've gone from the Explorer over here now to the Queen, and which is of course here the Guardian. And the Queen, the Guardian of Air, is actually one where she doesn't get caught up in other people's communication dramas. She looks straight to your soul and tells you like it is, but she can do it where, even though she may be blunt, it might be tough love, Okay, so I feel like we're going to get clarity because that's what she brings. Even if it does hurt, you might have to either give information, because again we're getting giving and receiving here. You're either going to have to tell someone like it is, or they're going to tell you like it is. Okay, and in some cases it may not be what you're wanting to hear, but it's for your best. It really is for your highest good. Okay, because the guardian of air here, she's going to see straight through the core of this and tell you. She's very direct, she's very candid, but you've got to remember, because she's air energy, she cuts away. So she's cutting away all of those things that are outworn and outgrown, and helps us to get to the core of the matter. Now, one of the things here, I pulled an extra card, which would be what I consider what might be blocking us for this week, is the Seven of Earth. Now, the Seven is all about patience and planning. You see how she's planting the tree here? So that Seven of Earth energy is talking about being patient. It's talking about, planning. So because that is what that represents, that is telling us that that's what we need to be mindful that we do. So it is time for us to really, we may not be setting goals for ourselves that involve long-term planning, that may be on a practical level, and that's what this is telling us to do. Or we may not be, we may be being too impatient with an individual, and that's where all of these arguments may be coming into play. Okay. Now, I also pulled a crystal card from the Wisdom Healing Oracle deck by Judy Hall. And let's see if I can find the box so you can at least see what it looks like. Here we go. And I really like this deck. Again, I'm debuting this one too, I've had these for a while, but it's like finally they came out and said that this is going to be the week to use them. And the card that I pulled, let's see if I can get a close-up of this. Yeah, it's a great card, but it's got such glare. I don't know if you're going to see it. I think that might be the closest I'm going to be able to show you. But this is Purpurite. And I'm going to show you something. This is the first time I've used this on a video, but look at the number. I'm all about 4-4. So this is almost like an angel crystal, which is very cool. And Purpurite, if I do believe, this is kind of an interactive crystal. And interactive vibrations, they were used to really help bridge the physical and subtle energy bodies and integrate them with the environment to help bring about well-being. So it's a great crystal as far as energetic healing, transformation, and well-being. So that is what this crystal also represents. But this is the Cure Cleanser, and it's extremely effective for psychic and aura protection, which we may need because, again, we may be around some negative situations and people this week. So it is, this is saying, whether you have this crystal or not. And one thing that I like about Judy Hall says you really don't even need the crystal. All you need to do is hold this, and you are still carrying the vibration of this color, of this crystal, carrying it with you. So you need to do that, do so. Take a look at this crystal, meditate upon it. That's a really good shot right there, I think. It looks a lot like amethyst. It's got that purple quality to it, but not quite so. It's got such a light energy into it. But it is good for aura protection, and it grounds high frequency energy, so it helps to bring the physical body back into balance. It helps to break away from self-destructive or self-limiting behavior, and it energizes the physical and mental bodies, so it overcomes tiredness, apathy, despondency. Really good at breaking old habits and patterns. the card here is talking about being open and protecting yourself and healing. So those are the main messages for that one. And then I pulled a color card from Anna Segal's Secret Language of Color. Awesome deck. And the card that I pulled was silver. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? And my camera is not blurred. That is actually the card itself. It looks like the camera's blurring it, but no, that is the card itself. It's just beautiful. And you can see it says be persistent. So you're going to need to take a look at what you need to be persistent with this week. You know, one thing, when I see silver, I think of maturity. Because you hear of individuals getting into their silver years, their golden years, their older years. So silver is very much of a high vibration, wise, making smart, intelligent choices, being grown up, mature. So it has that energy with it. And it's talking about, being persistent, and it is the color peace. It calms nerves, tension, serenity. And it also helps to purify and release diseases from the body too. And it helps flush toxic energy from the blood and tissues. Okay, so again, you've got that energy for this week. I look at this again, the silver is really good at as far as healing you, but I feel the message and what they're telling me here is wisdom. This is about wisdom too, and wisdom of when to speak your truth and when not to. Okay, don't get caught up in all this. So guys, those are the messages for this week. I hope you like this format. I may do more of this because I just feel like 3 cards sometimes is just not enough, and especially when I want to get into a detailed reading, and I think we're going to really need that as we get more into this lunar eclipse. And again, this lunar eclipse coming up on the 27th, yeah, there's going to be a lot of retrograde, but it does not have to be a negative transformation for you. In fact, we can choose to actually look at what we need to reflect on in all of those areas, because that's when a planet goes retrograde. Retrograde means to look back. It means to reevaluate. It means to really take a look at where we've been and where we are. And you got 6 of those planets. There's a lot of powerhouse stuff that we can reflect on. A lot of mental, and that's what that's what Mars is. Mars is very much a mental card, because it can rule anger. So if you're finding yourself getting angry, it'll give you an opportunity to reevaluate, why are you getting angry? What's causing this? Why is this a broken record? And what can we do to fix that? Okay, so it doesn't have to be a negative time. It can actually be used for positive purposes. I don't believe I said this at the beginning of the video, so if you're still here, awesome. Thank you for getting all the way through this. But if you would like a personal reading from me, you can find my information at timothyriley.biz, and I'm at timothyriley444@gmail. You can always email me to let me know if you'd like a reading as well. Angel blessings, everyone. Bye now.